everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Microsoft Greater China Online Tech Forum. We have some great content and announcement coming over the next 2 days, all to help you learn, connect, and engage with Microsoft and your peers in the IT community. And this, both in Greater China region and around the world. We are very fortunate in these difficult times that we have the technology to do this together. We are live streaming all the keynotes to more than 10 million viewers. And I'm sure you're tuning in to hear from my guest today, Satya Nadella. So let's get to it. Satya, thanks for joining us today.
It's fantastic to be with you, Alain.
The coronavirus pandemic is disrupting everybody everywhere, creating uncertainty across the world. Microsoft is a global company and has a big role to play in helping address those challenges. As a leader of Microsoft, Satya, what's your view on what that role is?
Thank you, Alain. And first, let me say a big thank you to all of the developers and IT professionals who all have been involved in China in responding to this crisis, because your work has been very critical. And I thank you for all that you're doing. And COVID-19 is impacting everyone around the world, every aspect of our daily lives, how we work, our social interaction, our family life, our communities are being changed because of this. The top priority for me is ensuring the health and safety of our own employees around the world. And we're also mobilizing to address the broader societal and economic impact of the virus. Over the Chinese New Year, here in the United States, we were concerned as the epidemic was developing, and we were eager to help. I was even touched, Alain, by your own decision to come back to China and lead the team there. It's been critical to have a clear view on what's happening so we could expedite our support. We recognize the role of technology plays, and I've been proud of how across Microsoft we've been working to adopt this first responder mindset so we can enable the first responders working tirelessly to reduce this impact of COVID-19, from telemedicine solutions, remote learning and education, to businesses of all sizes who are now really working from home and working remotely. And it's clear that this virus has no borders. Its cure will also have no borders. It's going to require all of us as a global community coming together to turn the tide. And it's been great to see the universities, the schools in China embracing virtual learning experiences, just as we have seen in the United States and other parts of the world. And in fact, China and the experience in China helping us with the recovery process everywhere else in the world as well. So I thought, since you've sort of watched this from its advent, maybe you can talk a little bit about some of the tremendous amount of work that's been done in China in the past few months to address the impact of COVID-19. Can you share a few examples?
You know, the partners are such an important part of it. The capabilities, the solution that partners developed have been critical to Microsoft response and relief efforts here in China. And I want to take the time to thank them deeply, all developers, all partners who worked with us around the clock to deliver some amazing solution to help fight against COVID-19. As an example, Microsoft and Yuanying Medicine work with government authorities in Shenyang, Zhengzhou, Chengdu, Hefei, and other places to provide an epidemic data analysis and decision-making platform that was based on Power BI. This enabled authorities to really quickly and intuitively understand the epidemic, but also make better management decisions, very, very key in these tough moments. With Microsoft support, partners like TMI developed a robotic automatic disinfection system that uses Surface Go as a core controller. The solution was deployed to frontline hospital to reduce the work intensity of hospital staff and reduce their risk of infection with the coronavirus. Those examples are just amazing. So Satya, since many people joining today are from Microsoft developers and partner community, what is the key things that you want them to know?
One of the real secular shifts that's happening, and in fact, China is at the forefront of this, is how digital technology is just getting embedded in the real world and changing pretty much all aspects of our lives and our economies and our society, right? So this intelligent edge and intelligent cloud era is what's really transforming all of what's happening in our economies. And, starting with the computational fabric itself being available ubiquitously, and then using that computational fabric to create intelligence out of vast amounts of data, right? So AI is going to be one of the defining technologies that's going to change pretty much all aspects, whether it's educational outcomes, health outcomes, or industries such as retail, what people talk about as offline and online merging. And then the experience layer also is changing, right? I mean, think about even our ability, even in the midst of this COVID-19 crisis, to use digital devices to bridge the physical distance. Speaks to how we're really on the verge of transcending even a single device to become really multi-device, multi-sense experiences, or being immersed in these multi-device, multi-sense experiences. And Microsoft's building the platform and tools for this real emerging world of the intelligent cloud and the intelligent edge. And it's a full stack, starting with Azure, which is the best hybrid cloud infrastructure out there. For your computing needs. It has everything from the infrastructure to data and AI services. On top of that, we're really building end-to-end zero trust security framework. So that way you have the best security solutions and tools for your application needs. We're empowering developers with GitHub and Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio, we have the best tool chain for developers. In fact, we're seeing in China tremendous growth of open source projects within GitHub, and it's exciting to see that. We even have developer services beyond for citizen developers with Power Platform, and I think you will have more to say about that. Dynamics is really creating the business applications. In China in particular, I think in the next 10 years, you're going to see more business application SaaS adoption. And Dynamics 365 is that complete new stack for how businesses can adopt business process applications and drive their productivity from being reactive to being proactive. We are seeing tremendous, growth even in Microsoft 365, not just for knowledge workers, right? It's even for first-line workers across all industries. We see, Microsoft participate, even LinkedIn as a hub for all the professionals in the region. LinkedIn Coaches is helping even expand these underrepresented communities where students have access to economic opportunity. Microsoft Startup Program is well known in China to help even entrepreneurs who want to create products for China as well as take it outside China. So lots of exciting things. And maybe, Alain, you can share a little bit about some of the exciting work around this Power Platform, which I think is really made for the next wave of digitization in China. Maybe you wanted to share a little bit about the news today.
Absolutely, Satya. As you say, the solution also developed here will not just benefit Chinese customers, but can also be used worldwide. And this is the power of the Microsoft ecosystem, also helping our developers go abroad. And as you know, recently, Microsoft has brought more great tools and services to Chinese developers. Azure Machine Learning, Azure Cognitive Services, Cognitive Search, Azure Speech, all are generally available now in China. We also have some exciting news to share, as you say. We're making Microsoft Power Apps and Power Automate available in China in the next few months. And so this will go even further to empower the million of citizen developers in China to develop their own low-code, no-code apps that will connect directly with Microsoft products like Azure, Microsoft 365, but also Dynamics 365, or their own line of business application. We cannot really wait to see the creativity and power of those citizen developers unleashed in China, serving not only for people and companies here, but around the world. Now, Satya, you said every company is a digital company, and that technical intensity is more important than ever. Can you explain what this means and how it applies to organizations and companies in the Greater China region?
No, absolutely, Alain. I mean, fundamentally, there's no question that when we look to the next 10 years, the defining characteristic of what's going to happen across every industry, across both the public sector and the private sector, is going to be how are people harnessing the power of the most malleable of resources, which is digital technology, to drive broad spread economic growth and surplus all around. And it's going to come down to this, I describe as tech intensity. It's got a couple of key elements to it. The first is every business, in order to have tech intensity, should make sure that it's adopting the latest and greatest technology. Cloud is a great example. Being able to bring into your enterprise, into your institution, the best distributed computing platform, or being able to use something like Microsoft 365 or Dynamics 365 so that you have the best productivity and business process tools to drive your business forward. Because the last thing you want to do is, reinvent the wheel. You want the latest technology, as some would say even as a commodity input, so that then you can go on to create the proprietary technology and business process solutions that are unique to your business. So you want to adopt fast, the best, and create in an agile way what is unique capability. But one of the key things here is trust, because I think ultimately what's going to give you exponential power is creating trust around digital technology with all constituents that you're serving. So that's really what we mean by tech intensity. This is something you're seeing all over the world. And I think what's going to define whether it's the competitive advantage of sort of countries or companies is going to be the rate of tech intensity that they have. So maybe, Alain, you obviously observe this in China across multiple customers and segments. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about some of these live examples you're seeing in China?
Yeah, definitely, Satya. On the commercial side, in China, we've seen a big ramp in tech intensity. As organizations move to ensure people can work from home, stay productive, and ensure business continuity. If I take the SMB like Xinyan, who runs a hosted call center platform for many of the large banks here in China, at the same time, they had to deal with work from home requirements and a huge spike in customer demand, and a very different spike of customer demand, I have to say. And with Azure, they were able to scale up their platform to meet the demand, and using Azure speak-to-text and speech recognition, they were also able to do more efficiently in terms of handling and routing calls. So very great example. If you take in the manufacturing space, a company like Joyson Electronic, which makes components for some of the world's largest automakers. They use Microsoft 365, Azure and Dynamics 65 across their subsidiaries to ensure both global integration in terms of communication and collaboration, as well as brand independence for each company around the world. They run SAP on Azure in both China and Germany data centers. And so they were able to provide access for clients globally, while, as you say, adhering to GDPR as an example, which is a very strict regulation, as you know. And Joyson today employs people across 13 countries, and they all use Microsoft 365 and Teams to work remotely during the coronavirus outbreak, and it's not finished. And the company developed a process, as an example, to provide official CHOPS documents on Power Platform during this time as well. And they are coming to us every day for new applications. If I take another example with China International Water and Electric Corporation, which is the engineering body of the Three Gorge Dam Corporation, they partner with public and private institutions in more than 40 countries on critical infrastructure and energy projects. This is where also trust comes front and center. They were already using Office, SharePoint, Dynamics 365, and a full set of other products, including Surface devices, to keep up with their digital transformation. And they really adopted this in an accelerated way during the coronavirus time. Teams now is their main way to collaborate and connect with their different people and organizations around the world. And overall, in China, Teams active users grew by more than 600% during this time, and it's still growing very, very actively. So we're seeing a lot of organizations of all sizes, every sector adopting Teams and Microsoft 365 to enable the employees to work remotely, which is a new normal, stay productive, collaborate, and also fostering a new sense of community, which is very, very strong. So, Satya, it seems today that there is hope in the face of this uncertainty, that the technology Microsoft is delivering is critical for the solution to our challenges today, but also going into the future. That the people who are watching us right now, developers and partners who are here to listen and learn and build on their new capabilities, also take them to their customers, their organization, and really build what tech intensity muscle they need is also super critical. What last comment do you have to make to our developers and partners who are very excited by this forum? Although it's one we're doing virtual, they are very excited by the news and by having you launch this forum.
As I said earlier, there is no important time to come together as a global community. I'm inspired really by all the work, all the action, all the creativity and innovation that I'm seeing all over the world, and especially right here in China. Each of us are learning from what you're doing and then scaling it. And so it's really super important for us to empower you at a time like this with the best platforms, best tools. And each of us, wherever we are, have the opportunity to take that action, driven by hope, a small step that makes things a bit better. And if everyone does something that makes the world a bit better, our collective work will in fact make the world a lot better. And for the people we love, for our communities, and for our society. So thank you for all that you're doing. And really, it's perhaps the time where all of what we do will have an amplifying effect in how we bring the world back to really some sense of normalcy as well as really growth going forward.
Thank you, Satya, so much. I also want to thank again everyone who is watching this online. And I want to encourage each of you to join some of the very exciting, deep technical breakout sessions later today. We will also have local technical experts go deep on our cloud, AI, and big data technologies, as well as sharing real local customers and partners case study. So be sure you join. And as Satya said, we can make things better. By working together, we as the technology community have the ability, but also the responsibility to develop amazing solutions to help the world be a better place. So thank you so much.
Thank you.